afternoon, folks. This is the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we certainly bring you real life real estate solutions. I'm your host, Glenn Glasper, affectionately known as Mr. Dollar Out of a Dime. And I have in store for you a phenomenal show today. I have the awesome privilege and pleasure to host none other than Mr. Tycoon himself. Mr. Tycoon is the CEO of Tycoon International. He is known as the Undisputed King of Wholesaling. And certainly in this business, in this climate, and what we're doing in real estate investing, this is certainly someone you want to hear from. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. I'm going to bring up Mr. Tycoon himself.
All right.
What's happening? What's happening, man?
You the man. It's just a pleasure to be here with you. You know, you came by the office the other day. We hadn't seen each other personally in a couple of years, so it was great catching up.
Definitely.
And, I'm excited. I'm excited to share some jewels with your audience, and hopefully they can implement them and use them in their life.
Absolutely. See. Now we was talking in the green room, man. You ain't tell me you was gonna show off on me.
The thing is, Miss Tycoon got to be Miss Tycoon, but I'm gonna take it off. I just want to start. I got these cameras on me right now because I want the audience to be able to see me.
Definitely.
I'm seeing myself, so I want to make sure they can see me.
Absolutely. Great stuff. Hey, listen, man, I want to definitely thank you for jumping in with me today. I know you can be doing a million other things, man, with your time. I know your time is very valuable. So I definitely want to say again, thank you for joining me today. And I know what you said, today we're going to talk about several different things as it relates to wholesaling and business and real estate investing and all that. But you said a real key word that I want to make sure people pay real significant attention to. You said you're going to share some jewels, but you want them to implement them.
Most definitely.
That's a big thing.
As you know, it's a lot of information out there. I mean, even this platform that we're on, with us both having experience over 2 decades of the real estate business and wholesaling and real estate fix and flip, this platform wasn't even possible.
Man, real stuff.
You couldn't get information like this unless you went to a live conference and you were paying $1,000 to $5,000 to see 2 individuals who have done the business and who have done it well, and also taught other individuals. There wasn't a platform like this. And so you're absolutely right that the audience needs to understand that because things are so readily available to them right now, that they value it. Because as one of my saying goes, information without implementation leads to fascination and eventually frustration.
Wow.
Because it's in the same place.
Wow.
But you sat down and you took in some education, some information. And it was fascinating talking about, hey, how to turn a dollar into from a dollar from dime to a dollar to 1,000 to 100,000.
Yes, indeed.
One brick at a time. But the information with implementation leads to the transformation. Information with the implementation leads to the transformation of zip codes, where you live at, what kind of watch you wear, what kind of ring you wear, what kind of car you drive, and as you know, that's all we want to do is get people the option to drive, to pay less shoes, to wear less, or pay more.
Right.
Lucci, it don't make a difference, but you want to have an option. And I'm sure you would agree to this. Once you get it and you can afford to go get those things, you realize they're not that important no more after all.
Right.
They don't make you. Don't get me wrong. I got the Gucci on and I watch and, I wear the bracelets and drive the car. But that ain't what make me. It's the information, it's the jewels. And when I say jewels, I'm talking about these nuggets, these jewels that you put in your crown.
Right.
Me and Glenn, we have crowns, but so do you. But based on the jewels you have in your crown, going to determine what kind of kingdom or queendom you're going to have. What are you going to rule? What kind of life are you going to have? Because you got rulership over your life. That's what the Creator gave all of us. And we're not here to preach to you all, but these are principles that we have this thing called life. The right to choose. Do we go to college? Do we get a degree in math? Do we get a degree in Spanish? Do I become a real estate investor? Do I become an IG fan only page?
Wow.
Nothing wrong with any of those things, if that's what you choose to do. Now, and I'm going to say this. understand this. There's always going to be franchise players, which me and Glenn are, because we're on the field and we're playing. And we're playing well. Then there's fans, which is the 90% of society. And they always going to have something to say about Glenn, Mr. Tycoon, Simone Bias, Kobe, peace be upon him, Shaq. He be doing this or he be doing that. That's what fans do.
Wow.
And so I want to share with you all today is what everybody else saying about you and what you should be doing. You know what you need to be doing. And that's the thing that we got to stay in control in and stay on mission of, is staying in control of ourselves and doing what we know we need to do, which is discipline, even though we don't want to do it.
Man. You know, it's that right there, man. You again, I knew this was going to be one of those things where one of those shows. This is the Tycoon show today. I'm going to say that. I know the wisdom that you share, man, is not just fluff. I'm going to keep it 100. You talk, you walk the walk and you talk the talk, you know, from your years of experience. You know, we shared the other day from the first time I talked to you, like years ago, I understood then, and somebody wouldn't have been able to appreciate that, but I understood then how valuable your time was, right? You didn't specifically say it, but based on how I saw you moving in your element, I understood that this is a man about his business. This is a man about principle. So don't come to him with no garbage. So when you talk about the things that you're talking about as far as like implementation, when you're talking about using your crown, those are things, I know those are real for you. How do you get someone from, like, we're talking about mentorship and coaching, right? How do you get with someone from 0 to at least 75? They might not make it all the way to 100. From at least 0 to 75, starting with their mindset. How does that transformation happen?
Well, the transformation comes from the coaching, the mentoring, and then also because I have a plug-and-play system in that they have an opportunity to go out in the field with me, hang signs with me, do calls with me, whether it's on a Zoom. Most of the time, my programs require me to be one-on-one with them or group coaching in an environment, so they get to see these things. But as I say, my number one saying that everybody who knows me or who have followed me for a while understands, I say, in order to get your money right, you got to get your mind right.
That's our saying, by the way, because I'm gonna borrow that.
Yeah. And even as I have this phone right here, this phone can't work without the brains of it or the hardboard, the hard drive. See, but what they created this out of, when they created this, they took it from this. What do we have up here? Storage.
Definitely.
So we got storage. But see, we got unlimited storage here. This only got so much storage.
Wow.
On this, if we watch a lot of junk, that's what we're gonna have junk up here. Garbage in, garbage out.
It's out. Right.
We chose to learn real estate. I don't know if you speak German. I wouldn't be surprised if you did.
No,
it's on my hard drive, so I can't speak German, but I can speak Poquito Español.
Right.
Liche, thanks to Duolingo. Shout out to Duolingo. My point is, it takes time. Time, and somebody basically spoon feeding it to them. Also, I think I've heard you talk about books that you share. Number one book you asked me about that, Relentless.
Right. Yeah.
People have a relentless attitude. They relentless. Relentless means, like, if you think about a pit bull and it got some, it's relentless to tear it apart. It's relentless. It ain't let go and lock on.
Right.
But that's a mentality. See, and one thing that, again, and can I be 100% transparent? Can I go forward?
Absolutely.
One of the things that's going on right now in our environment is this bullshit of everybody get a trophy just for participation.
Man, bruh.
Just show up and you get a trophy and we're going to celebrate. What are we celebrating? You were old and true story. My son, Mr. All-American professional tennis player, played soccer. I know they were 0-8. And they would say, we're going to have a party. We're going to get trophies. For what?
Right.
Y'all was terrible.
Right.
My son was the goal. They would shoot, go, and then he would dive. I'm like, is he slow? The ball in the back of the goal, and he just died. That wasn't his thing. But the thing is, why are we giving trophies away for poor performance.
Mm-hmm. Right.
See, that ain't how life works. You have poor performance on the job, but so they're programming them wrong.
Right.
People think that I just come to work, I should get a raise. Yeah. I'm entitled to this because that's what you showed me when I was young.
Mm.
In today's society, we see these athletes and these celebrities, and even our people who are on social media selling different products. They're not showing you the story; they're just showing you the glory.
Mm.
And then I'm gonna hit them with this one. Hold on, I'm putting my jacket. I'm hitting with this. I'm going in. I'm going in.
Going in, brother.
This, everybody out there. 90%, and Glenn will let you know this, and we ain't hating. Listen, we ain't hating. 90% of what y'all saying out there is hype, not help.
Real stuff.
Listen, y'all look it up. Gerald Gentry. This is a watch I got on. I had this watch 10 years, and I sent it to Vegas when I got it. I bought it here in Atlanta at my jeweler, and I sent it to Vegas so I wouldn't have to pay taxes on it because it was that type of thing. And just for the record, the reason that I wear nice watches is just because of what Glenn said. I value my time. So it's like an anchor for me. Is this person worth my time? If I got on a watch over $50,000, is he worth 5 minutes of my time? Because I didn't get in a position to be able to wear the watch because I wasted my time.
Real stuff.
And I say every day when I go to the gym, you can't win if it ain't wasn't to work.
Right, right.
You know, we have that saying, you know, work only comes before success in the dictionary. That's what we love speakers saying that. But what does that mean? That you got to be willing to be as Jesus was, where he sat at the feet of those who had wisdom. And he was already all knowing, but he wanted us to get the example that you got to be willing to sit at people's feet. That's why Glenn was in my office, even though I put Glenn out of my office over 15 years ago when he came in there because he didn't know what he was doing and he was trying to explain something. I'm like, bro, come back when you got your shit together.
Right, right. And that's
I sat down with him and tried to put some band-aids on his wounds. But he realized, let me look at my shit together. The brother, wait, how am I gonna go try to play with LeBron and I can't dribble?
Well, I want to make a point of that. It was that amongst a few other things. When I first got started, I was figuring this thing out. I was fumbling and bumbling and doing a whole bunch of stuff, you know, and I did a whole bunch of stuff wrong. But it was people like you and several others that I encountered that didn't really mentor me, but I got some mentorship. You know, even if I tried to sneak in and get some, I got it, right? Because in that moment, what you taught me was the value of your time. Because I came in with a deal. I didn't know anything about what I was doing. You know, like you said, I mean, keeping it 100. I didn't know a whole lot about what I was doing. I was trying to figure it out. I came in, asked you some questions, and you knew right off I didn't know what I was talking about, right? The person that was not, I'll call it the person that was not built for this would have went home and licked up wounds and cried and been done with it and it been over for them. But for me, I was like, if nothing else, I'm gonna get on that dude's level one day. You see what I mean? Or something real close to it so that I know how to first appreciate my time and appreciate that the knowledge that I eventually will have. You know, I took a lot from that little bitty lesson, and I'm talking about it was within three to 5 minutes. Your wife spent more time with me telling me it was gonna be all right, pat me on the back, like you said, than you did.
The nurturing. No nonsense. And that's always, and that came from being an athlete and having coaches who, when I played tennis, I may have won a tournament, but because I missed 3 backhands down the line, I would actually lead a tournament. This is and go and practice and put the trophy on the court, work on that shot. And so that's always what I'm about is peak performance, getting better. You know, even though we're doing this Zoom, and this ain't no big stage where we got where I've spoken on, but I'm still gonna come represent how Mr. Tycoon represent.
Yeah.
Become a professional. And when you're professional, you do things a certain way. And that ain't for everybody.
Right.
Okay. And I appreciate you even bringing up that story and even sharing it with me because I didn't remember. Because I had so many people come through that door that I was like, hey, and all we're saying is, again, that's like either one of us. And I'm sure we played basketball back in the day, but right now, trying to go to the Lakers and say, y'all need to give us a contract.
Right.
It ain't gonna happen. We good people.
Show up, try to work with us, say the same thing. Like they want to start in championship.
No skill. That's what we talk about, the transformation, and these things takes time. But the first thing is you got to have the proper mindset. Right. And you know, the mindset is that if Glenn, who was homeless when he was 12, teenage father,
yeah,
in the cold streets of Detroit, Miss Tycoon, former single family mother. I mean, raised by a mother, sold candy in school, sold pharmaceutical sales illegally. Y'all know what I'm saying? And got my hand slapped and shot, flunked English 3 times at Morehouse. And if we can do it, you can do it. That's all we want you to know. We want you to know this is duplicatable. This is not rocket science, but there is a method. So number one, there's a mindset. Number two, you got to find a mentor, somebody who's going to show it to you. Or you can go to school of hard knocks. And unlike most people, Glenn went through the school of hard knocks, but figured it out and put some right pieces together, because you can have the pieces to the puzzle and you never get the puzzle together.
Wow. Yeah.
You knew he had to find a house. And then one of the challenges was, I said, well, tell me about, what the deal like? Well, how I know I ain't going like. And so that was nothing. People call me today and they're like, well, I want you to work with me. I was like, give me the address from IG. And I'm like, well, how I know I can trust you? Motherfucker, you reached out to me. You expect me to do the research and figure if it's a deal or not if you don't even give me the address.
I don't understand that, bro. I don't understand that. Like,
that's why I only play with my mentees. Because I ain't got time for that. I don't answer you back. What's going on? Tell me about the deal. Because you ain't in my program. That's why I don't usually even respond back to people talking about the deal.
Yeah.
I know I can trust you.
Right. And that's I don't understand. Like,
I don't follow you.
I get emails from people who want me to look at their deals, right? I mean, these are just that they're trying to wholesale, they're trying to sell them. And they send them over and there's no address, but they tell me I only got, there's no due diligence, period. I ain't got nothing to do no due diligence with.
All the stuff that they heard in a teleseminar or they read in a post and they're trying to put it together, I commend you. But let me give you an example of what that's like. You're in a Ferrari, 2021. Got a whole back seat full of Red Bull. Got your American Express Gold card. No, you ain't gotta go. You got your platinum.
Platinum, right?
You're going to Alabama, and you're going 20 East past Lithonia, past Panola, and you hitting it. Your ass ain't gonna never get there. Not going 20 East.
Right.
You on Camel Road?
Say, wait a minute.
You ever gonna get there? Is she ever gonna get there?
I don't know.
You got a driving machine. You got money.
Right.
Wrong way. Fast. And that's what we got out here going on right now in today's time, because you're at YouTube University, IG, Ignorant Institute. You got your face in Facebook, not in a real book.
Wow.
And you can't take shortcuts. There's no shortcut to success.
Man.
Ain't no shortcut. Listen, because I'm a father. I know Glenn here because he started real early.
Yeah, early and late.
Right. My wife was 3 months pregnant on a stage. And this is how education works. Sometimes it'll be nurturing, but you don't even know it. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, no matter how fast we want that baby, for that baby to be healthy, it got to go 9 months. That's the process.
That's the process. Yeah.
If it comes any earlier than that, they call it what? Premature.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not strong enough, and it may not make it if it's premature.
Right.
Because there are going to be complications.
Wow.
So that's what I'm talking about with your education. Y'all start this business prematurely, not working on your mindset, not a mindset of, I'm going to do this shit.
Right.
High water, low water, whether my mama say okay or not, whether my husband, true story student, superstar D, made over 6 figures with me, did rehabs and all that. Husband came to my office, same office you came to. This was over 5 years ago. He was a Brinks truck driver. Came in with his 9 on his hip. Who is this man you ain't gave $5,000 to with these hazel eyes and $1,000 a month, and ain't nothing happened in 6 months? You ain't got nan deal. I gotta come see what's going on over here.
Right.
What all are you doing to my wife except taking her money? And she had a deal. It was a $50,000 deal. Her very first deal was $50,000.
Wow.
Only one that she worked on. She got that lead in the pipeline, and it was a probate. Had a lot of relatives there, and I knew it was a deal off the bat. If we could just get it cleaned up.
Yeah.
That jewel in the rough. See, for those who don't know, diamonds are dirty when you first see them. They got to be polished.
Definitely.
The joint is heavy here.
Preach on, preacher. Hey, so listen. What you're talking about is definitely something that a lot of people miss. I mean, I love how you eloquently broke it down. Talking about the process, especially the baby being premature and all that. It's those types of things that I think people miss. Now, this is one thing, and you touched on it a little bit earlier, but I'm going to say it this way. When you're talking about people getting a participation trophy, I think a lot of times what happens is people hear the idea of being able to get into real estate with no money down and no credit. So they figure all they got to do is show up, right? And they're going to make $100,000 in 60 days or less, right? But I think the misrepresentation of that no money down and no credit, the thing that they miss is that there's work, there's implementation, there's education, there's mindset. Like all of those things have to be in place in order to be able to do a deal that way. Say it again?
That ain't sexy.
Right. And I think that's missing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I want to get into, you got here, what's the 4 top things needed to become a real estate wholesaler?
Number 1, you got to have that mindset.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be difficult. People are going to hang up on you. Even in text marketing, people are going to send you text back. Listen, he said I can be one. They're going to say, suck my dick.
Right.
You're not buy your house. Me a video of a woman bent over with a man behind her.
Let me say this for the audience. For some of these people that might not be able to take Tycoon language, he actually showed me a text of that actual being a real text that he received from a client. So I want to make sure he's not just saying that was real. So go ahead.
And all the time. I mean, people for whatever reason. One, we know people are passively aggressive, and see that's just our society. We got angry people. And this is the thing what I want you to understand. We don't talk people into selling their house. They have a problem and we give them a solution. So that's the mindset. First of all, I can do it, but the mindset of what makes a deal a deal.
Right.
I'm a great negotiator. I did seminars on negotiation. Yes, and I got certain little things, but the person already got to have a problem. Glenn ain't going to sell you his house at a discount.
Absolutely.
Situation. Plus, he has the knowledge of how to make the deal, how to make the house make money.
Right.
I don't care how many times you call him. Now he will sell it to you if you pay him 10 times what it's worth.
Definitely. And every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
The mindset that you gotta have. One of the other major important things, you gotta have patience. It's not an overnight success thing. Even if you get one deal done, luckily in the first 60, 30, 90 days, that next one ain't gonna be like that.
Right.
If you fell upon it, somebody called you, say, "Hey, my aunt died," and it just happened to be a personal friend. You didn't nurture that. You didn't grow that. It's like you went to Publix and it just was handed to you. But we talking about nurturing when you go drive for dollar, you skip tracing and you put out emails and you go look up for them name on Facebook. You finally get a cousin. You tell a cousin, "Hey, can you just tell me where I can find Mark at? I got $500 for you if you can tell me where Mark is." But you got to learn that script to be able to say that. And he going to say, "Mark, somebody on the phone for you." He ain't going to say, "Mark, I'm getting $500. Hold on, fine. I know where he at. He got a house. I can off him a house? What?
Yeah.
How much you going to pay for it?" That's family. Because we can look at the psychology of seeing how the police get people to give a reward and for $500,000 and turn in somebody. So we can find a house. So we got to understand the psychology of people.
Wow. Real stuff.
But that takes skill set. You just don't figure that out to know what site you go to find somebody's phone number or email address, or you may have heard of Ben Verify, but how do I get a subscription to it? And then one of the things is, as you just said, understanding that yes, you can do a deal without using your cash or credit. Two, and you got to be willing to spend money in your education.
Right.
And the best education, I believe, this is why I teach it the way I teach it, is not just with a video, but somebody that you can pick up the phone and this question. Somebody that you can sit down with, or go out in the field with you, or negotiate the deal like I do for my students, so they can see me negotiate it, so they can now do what's called OJT, on-job training. I'm gonna do it, and then you get a chance to watch it.
So they can't watch 100 YouTube videos and become a success overnight? That's not how that works?
No, that ain't how that works. Let me ask you this. Would you trust watching 100 videos on swimming and then go jump in the pool?
Not at all.
Certain things like baking and cooking and how to upload a video to this site. But this is like, I look at this as, and as I told you, I quit calling myself the millennial Moses of real estate because Moses didn't get into the promised land. Is that this is like getting people to their freedom. I say I've changed it now to say I'm the male Harriet Tubman taking people to their freedom. Right. But I ain't taking no wine because what Harriet do if you said you was tired and you ain't want to go? You ain't going back telling on us.
Right.
I want to help people get to freedom, and freedom for me is just the starting point of it is when the first come. When the first come, I got enough for the first and the next first.
And the next first.
Because now I can think. Because when I'm stressed, it's the 28, and here come the first, and my paycheck, I get this one, I'll pay this with this, and then the next one. I ain't got no mind with no bandwidth. Bandwidth to think about this thing, talk about doing real estate without no money, and that shit just don't compute. Right. I'm trying to survive. When I'm treading water and I got the straw in my mouth and I'm trying to tread water and you telling me to go drive for dollars and let people cuss me out on the phone and AT&T calling me and the gas bill calling me and my kids saying they need these shoes and my husband telling me I want some sex tonight. You like, oh my God, I got all this stuff, all this noise, all these windows open on your phone. You know, let me show you something there real quick. This is the screen of our phone, but then we can do like this, and all the windows are open, right? And all that stuff right there, when the windows open like that, that's taking down energy. That's what you got running in the background. This dude, car note dude, all these things new. Man, Glenn, think about in the background.
Yeah.
We trying to figure out how to get $100,000 a month.
Real stuff.
We're sharing that because there's levels. You know, I sent Future the hook. There's levels to this shit. We're not worried about the first.
Right. Real stuff.
Who's gonna be the first billionaire in our family? Or if you ain't hit $1 million yet, the first 6-figure earner in your family, but not 6 figures a month. 6-figure a year. We're trying to figure out how to get 6-figure a month.
Real stuff.
So we got mindset. You got to have patience. Third one, BS. That belief system. But the belief system, but also BS of what other people say. Real estate don't work. You lived in a house or some sort of shelter all your life, whether it was your mama house, your auntie house, cousin house, project. So how real estate don't work? We gotta have live.
I've never heard that. I've never heard that real estate doesn't work. It's the people that get into it that don't do the work.
We know that, but people will say real estate don't work. That's a scam. Everybody want to call something they don't know how to do a scam, but they never realized a job was a scam. Right.
But you're right. I mean, that's their mindset. You know, a lot of folks that I've introduced to several different things, they've always said, "Oh, that's a scam." And I'm like, but how do you know it's a scam if you've never done it before? You never even tried it before. It's too good to be true. I'm like, well, air is too good to be true.
Us being here in America, the gratitude of being in this country to African American men.
Yes.
Look what we've accomplished. No silver spoons.
Right.
A lot of work, a lot of headache, a lot of heartache, but it was worth the journey. And I'm sure that you would agree with me on this statement that it was a journey that was more exciting than even hitting some of the destinations of the money things.
Yes, sir.
Because you know, and that's the thing that we want you all to understand. You appreciate when you get it, when you earned it. That's one of the problems with our children today. I got a 12-year-old son right now. Got a PlayStation, that one in there, this, that, tennis shoes, got his own business. And we went out one day to go sell a Sincere Tsunamis, an air freshener business. And he's like, I'm good. The fuck you mean you good? I didn't say that to him. Now we'll goddamn go out on, but what you mean you good?
Right.
Like you don't need to sell nothing. You came in there today, gave me $2 worth of change. Dad, can I get $2? You know, so I got a big change jar. I said, what you need some money for? I just want to have the money in my pocket. I said, you got a business, so you ain't got but $2 in your pocket.
Wow.
You don't want to work your business.
Wow.
Not that you ain't got a business. I gave him $10,000 when he was 10. I said, we're gonna learn how to trade. You're gonna buy tennis shoes, sell tennis shoes. You know what he did with it? Nothing. So I'm not telling you all something that I'm not dealing with personally or making people appreciate. But as far as adults, you ain't a child no more. You gotta appreciate that you're in the best country in the world, even with all the racism, with all the sexism, with all the different stuff, all that different levels going on, the pandemic, religious, everything going on. We still in the best country in the world. We got free internet. We got internet right now.
Absolutely.
We choose whether I want to be Muslim, Spanish, spiritual, Baptist, this, that, whether I want to do real estate, whether I want to become an author, whether I want to become a speaker. You can do it right here in this thing called the US of A, America. And I travel extensively. I was just there when Glenn got back from Cabo. My wife is actually right now gone because her birthday is the 25th. Shout out to her. Her and her girlfriend. I said, I got to be in my Quail's thing, and Glenn told me how to pick some on this, and I got work to do, baby. You go ahead on.
Right. Listen, hey, and that right there is commitment and dedication, man. So hats off to you, bro. Yeah.
And the point of where I was going with that is that people make $4 a day in Mexico. So now we see when they showing us that stuff on TV, talking about these people trying to get over here, cross the border. It's out of a dream for the dream of opportunity.
Wow.
People look at America as the land of opportunity, but those of us who were born here, we bitching instead of realize how blessed we are. Don't get me wrong. I've been pulled over before. I've been handcuffed. I know racism exists. I know there's white privilege.
Right.
But there's still opportunity. We're still blessed, even with all that going on. But this is just my take on it. I rather look at the blessings than the burdens. I rather boss up than bitch up. But that's me. And I want to encourage those not to whine. Winners don't whine. We don't win every game, but what we say, let me brush myself. I'll get them next time. Because I'm gonna go back and watch the game film. The game film is that contract, that call that you did, that you recorded, and you listened to it. This is the real game. We ain't got to play virtual reality games. This is the game. It's called life. This is my uniform. I got dressed to come perform today.
Yes, indeed.
Jesse told the mic is always hot. I'm always on.
Right.
I'm never out of message, just out of minutes.
Real stuff.
Because it's in me.
Don't give away too many of our quotes today, okay? Real stuff, though, bro. Real stuff.
And the fourth one is, I'm gonna close it. The fourth one that you got to make a decision what part of real estate you want to do. You can't become a master of them all.
Okay.
People trying to wholesale, they're trying to fix and flip, so they're trying to find hard money. If you ain't got no money, you don't need to be doing no hard money deal. Because I'm telling you now, Glenn probably has done more. I've done over, I don't know how many rehabs I've done, but I don't really care for it. But I'll tell you this, no rehab for the most part stays on budget. You always will go over.
I ain't never had one. I had one that was kind of under budget, but I got it done quick, but that was an anomaly. You know what I mean? Like, that's not something that happens all the time. Like, I've done several rehabs, and like you said, most of them will go over budget. And
they don't go in, even if they don't go on over budget, they take longer than you thought. And if you're using hard money, that costs you more, because that's cutting the profit. Every month you don't get that project finished, that's another note that you're paying on that property.
Absolutely.
And so my thing is, that's why I love wholesaling, because you're not under that stress of making sure the AC guy there, making sure the plumber's there, making sure you don't find nothing when you test something out the wall. Land development takes time. You got to do this with land development. New construction is this. All of them have their headaches.
Yeah.
That's why they pay so handsomely.
Right.
Because they're headaches. And we're solving people's problems. The more problems you solve, the more pay you get. The more profit that there is in it. But the thing is, you got to make your mind. I'm going to be a wholesaler, or I'm going to be a fix and flip, because I watch HGTV all this time, or Flipping Love with one of my former mentees, Superstar Shauna, and Sion. Hey, it's real. But it's a lot of shit that go on behind the scene before you see that pretty baby. So I'm back to that baby. That baby come out, oh my God. But were you with her when feet was swollen and she was cussing you out, talking about, don't touch me, help me roll on my side, my neck hurt, my neck dark, I'm hungry, I ain't hungry. See, that's all the stuff. But when they see that, when the woman see that baby, like, I ain't gonna never do this again. I ain't gonna never do this rehab. No. You get that check, you be like, okay, what I'm gonna do the next one?
Right. Like, why we do the next one? But that's what we call that's what we call real life real estate investing.
Right.
That stuff that happened, like all those pains and stuff you talk about, that's stuff that happens in real life. And also the stuff that you're sharing is stuff that happens in real life that a lot of people, when they get sold that idea of you can get into this just by showing up. Ain't no
problems with it. We don't have problems.
Right.
But the thing is, one thing that I almost like looking at a sporting event, you don't want to see nobody get blowed out. What makes the game interesting is the challenges.
Yes.
One thing about working out. Yeah, I work out, but my muscle won't get stronger if I'm lifting this every day. If I just lift this, I'm gonna get stronger. The science of it is just like in life. This muscle got to be torn down. It got to have pain, not injury.
Right.
The thing is, you got to go through the pain of those 100 calls to get that one call. But because you went through the pain, now it don't even bother you like a duck. The water just roll off your back when somebody cuts you out. Why are you calling my house? Well, ma'am, I'm just trying to see if you want to sell your house. Did you see it for sale sign? No, I didn't, but I was just interested in it. Because she don't know me, I don't know her. What get me, Glenn, with them people on the other end of the phone, they be talking all that shit like, I know where you live. I know where I live. I'm like, I know I'm getting somebody ignorant. You calling me this and you calling me that. I've been called a nigga. I've been called everything except a child of God.
That is something. And listen, it don't happen like that unless if you ain't doing the work, though. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing, what people not getting. They're just getting, oh, look at the car. I saw somebody talk about a Mont Blanc. You got my pen, and they were saying they heard a speaker talking about a Mont Blanc, a writing instrument, which we don't call it a pen, it's a writing instrument.
Absolutely.
I've been using these for 20 years, but I was exposed to it back then. But I saw some people, they were just getting exposed to it. And that's another important thing, exposure.
And for the people,
you got a diamond in the top.
That's a $200 ink pen. I had one of them around here somewhere, but I've had it for years. Right. I got it from the airport when I used to work there.
Yeah. They're 500 now.
Oh, they 500.
Now this is a platinum one, so it's a little different. It's a rollerball, but I got the 100-year anniversary with the diamond in top when I was in. If you look inside my book, you will see me when I was on Rodale Drive 10 years ago.
Wow.
I use that when I'm doing $100,000 and above deals.
Wow.
There's another one that I want that I said, okay, for that one, it's gonna be when I'm doing $1 million deals. When I'm signing paper, it's gonna be $1 million deals.
Real stuff.
That's mindset. That's an elevation. When you just trying to figure out how to pay rent or house note, he talking about $100,000. No, I want you to know I was there too. I remember that time when I said, boy, when I get $5,000, I can do a hard money loan. I'm going to be in there. That first $5,000, I was like, oh, it's over now.
And you said something that I want to make sure that people pay attention to. You said if you ain't got no money, in this English, if you ain't got no money, don't be trying to get a hard money loan, because it does require you to have money to get a hard money loan. You know,
unless now it's totally different. When we first came in the game, we could put out $5,000, you borrow as much as you want. Now they want 20%.
Right.
Credit.
Right.
You gotta have the first draw fee. They're not giving you all of the rehab. So even when they say they give you 100%, they're still looking for some money to be in the deal because they don't want you to run off on them. And I understand that. And if you don't know what you're doing, why should I trust you? One of the number one mistakes that people make, they think money make money. No, money doesn't make money. Knowledge makes money.
Wow.
Money is true. This pen, even though it's a $500 pen, won't write by itself. But if I didn't have a skill set to use it, it's no good to me. And that's the same thing with money, because if that was the case, and we're not knocking Evander, the real deal, Holyfield, Atlanta's heavyweight champion of the world, he wouldn't have went broke. If he just made money, Mike Tyson wouldn't have went through 100 million. There got to be something here that's necessary, because they had money. What men do with the money that we have, we know how to make that money go to work. We know how to buy a house and turn around and sell it without even working on it.
Real true story.
It's a numbers game. It's understanding how do we determine what the ARV is. Even that point, and we're not getting to the teaching, but this figuring out what's the ARV. This house 300, why is that with 270? Well, that would have a full basement. That one they cut the top off and they put another 1,000 square foot on it. But you're gonna take that and say, oh, that's the comp, but your house ain't about 800 square foot. The house was 2,500 square feet. So that means you got to add roughly, 1,600 square feet.
Yeah.
So you guys probably tear it down to the what? To the foundation, keep the footing. But see, if you don't know nothing about all that, you lost.
Right.
We didn't learn the word footing. I went to Morehouse. They ain't tell me nothing about no footings. They ain't tell me nothing about no Mayo formula. They tell you that, Glenn?
I ain't learned none of that. Listen, I learned that in the street university.
Right. University.
Yes, indeed.
And even when you got a mentor, you still gonna run into issue, because part of it is you ain't gonna listen just like a child. I'm saying all the time that for some reason, us as humans, we think we know better than the person who's trying to show us the way.
Wow. Yeah, that is another thing. You get people that you're trying to show them the way, because I what in the beginning I have to kind of, like you said, break my students down to build them back up. And that in the beginning is taken away. One of my questions is, who do you follow? Who is one of your online gurus that you pay attention to? Who you listen to on YouTube? Because I got to look at all that programming that you've gotten so far.
Misprogramming.
Exactly. And deprogram you from that to help you get to where you. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to take away from all of them, because some of them have some good information.
Let me say this. It's just like what Marquel is working with us on. Okay, you can use ClickFunnels, you can use Karcher, but for me to teach you,
you got to do.
I'm going to share something with you what I used to do. This is my coffee glass. I said, you got a lot of stuff in you already. You got on YouTube. I'm going to need you to pour all that out so I can pour this in there, because if I pour this on top of this and just keep trying to pour all of what I got in me in this cup, you already got something in, we're about to make a mess.
Absolutely.
And I got that from Bruce Lee. I didn't come up with that. Bruce Lee said, before I can work with you, think I need you to remove all that and allow me to pour in from a basic foundation. So we start with a clean slate. So let me ask you this. What do they do when your computer acting all up and they say, hey, it's corrupt?
They gotta redo it.
They take everything off the hard drive.
Yeah.
Same thing. See, whoever they is that we always talking about, they understand how this shit works.
Absolutely.
That's why when they take you in the army, they say we take you come in as a boy, you leave as a soldier. That's why they break them down. The whole thing of breaking down somebody who, when they become a Navy SEAL, is we want you to quit.
Right.
But if you make it through this, that's how people fuck with me. See, I'm a Navy SEAL of wholesaling real estate. If you can make it through mine, you're gonna make it out there. You can take out a whole platoon of real estate investors.
Wow.
Because my foundation is strong on marketing and mindset and understanding your numbers. If you can't figure out this 65% rule from this formula I'm giving you, because it's math.
Right.
People are like, I ain't good at math. Well, you can't do this business there because it's math. But you can work with your math, and it's basic. Multiplication is subtraction. We ain't talking about trig. We ain't talking about geometry. We're talking about basic arithmetic.
That's it. You
gotta have ability to think. And we can teach you that. But you got to be coachable.
Right.
You got to let's pull all that other stuff out. Well, I heard. Don't tell me about I heard.
I get that a lot.
Yes.
I get that a lot. Well, such
and so this is one of the challenges that people have when they work with me. For those who may be listening, is that like he just always trying to deprogram. He always trying to tell me if you knew what you was doing, you wouldn't be here.
Right. Shout
I had you in my office about this ClickFunnels stuff because what? I know real estate. I don't know if I got more money. That's not what we're talking about because I didn't know.
Right.
Listen, I bought ClickFunnels several times. I still don't know how to use it. I lit candles around it, like download.
see the video meditation and everything.
Pop by here, give me the information. Russell Brunson, spirit of Russell Brunson. It ain't worked yet.
Oh man, but hey, listen, that's the lesson that people got to learn, though, man. Hey, but you made another perfect point, though, man. But you dropping them today. Just because you invest in something, we're talking about, something like ClickFunnels. Now, all of the education and knowledge on how to use ClickFunnels is there, but you actually have to go through it and do the work. If you don't go through it and do the work, just because you paid for it, don't mean it's going to do it for you. You know what I mean? So that's another great point.
Mentorship. How many times have listen, superstars, I've helped thousands of individuals do their first deal and hundreds going to make 6 figures and 7 figures.
Real stuff.
Also people who never, ever made one call.
Right.
And I never used my system. Or I set up their system. And even before we were doing the systems using the roto dollars, I sent them a list and they ain't made one call. They didn't get one drop of dollars. I have bought signs back from my students that they didn't put up. Where your signs at in the trunk? They don't work if they're in the trunk.
Wow.
How many people got gym membership that they just on their keychain?
Wow.
It's been studied. I don't know how they came up with it. So even when I look at statistics, they say 90% of people who buy a book don't get past the first chapter.
Wow.
But that goes back to 90% of our wealth, 90% is controlled by 10%.
10%.
And that 90-10 rule applies to everything. 10% of the people who gonna start today won't be in the business in 3 months. Look how many people still in the business when you first started.
You're right.
You don't make it. Everybody don't make it to the NBA. Everybody don't make it to the NFL. Everybody don't become a big actor. If you look at the actors, ain't but so many of them. We got Jamie Foxx, we got Denzel, we got Idris. Basketball, Kobe. Everybody talk about Kobe still. Kobe ain't even here. We still talking about Kobe. Shaq and LeBron. Now we got Steph. But who gonna be next? Is it gonna be Zion? But you ain't talking about everybody in the NBA. They play, but it's all, but I want to say it was W. Du Bois that said the talented 10th. The cream gonna rise to the top.
Right.
Gonna put in the work. It's not that I'm any special or Glenn, any more special than you are.
Right.
Who watching this right now? Neither one of us are more special. We just wanted to put in the work and we stuck with it. We stick and we stay.
That's it.
You don't think people call me about network marketing? You need to come over here and Forex trade and you need. Hey, one thing I know, I'm like that Will Smith movie. He's like, just stay right here.
Yeah, right. Look, don't go outside of that. Just stay right there. I know you're talking about
I
hits.
may give him a double shoulder, but I would say right here in this real estate. Because I got this. I had an individual come over to my office, and we were going to do some big development. He said, always keep your main thing the main thing. This guy was worth about a couple of $100 million. He said, keep your main thing your main thing. I said, I want to learn how to do this. He said, listen, I'm going to walk you through this. It's going to be some years, but keep your main thing the main thing, because doing these big projects are 5 and 10 years sometimes. So you got to keep your main thing, whether that's 100,000 a year, a couple of million a year. But most people want to stop doing their main thing and jump over here. And it's taking so long to get it going again, to get going. So we got momentum already. We got people who call us on deals that sometimes we ain't got to do as much marketing as you do when you begin it, because they ain't going to call you because they know you know what you're doing.
Right.
But people will call us. We can't make you duplicate that. They just come with time.
Yeah. Wow. Real stuff.
You know Kendall. Kendall don't do no marketing. Kendall Rozier. Do short sales?
Yeah.
Everybody call him because they know he's the short sale guy. Because they don't want to learn short sales, so everybody call him. So he don't do no marketing.
Right.
You can't duplicate that. That's not duplicatable. That comes with time and experience, and also being on top of your game.
Real stuff. Man. So why do people fail at this, man? What's wrong, man? Why if this is if all you got to do is get into it to do it? Oh, that's the number one thing. Wow.
It's that mindset. They don't have any patience in going through the process, because everybody make it sound so easy. And even when I got my plug and play system, I'll plug you into my calling system, I'll plug you into my texting service. I'll do the call for you if you get a lead. I'll actually negotiate. I'll even put up the cash for you. We're making all these things available to them, but you still got to go through the process, because you may call 100. I had a guy at an event at Atlanta Real, and he's talking about, I did 1,000 texts. I say, I do 2,000 texts a day. He did 1,000 texts, say texting don't work. 1,000.
1,000?
1,000. I like we do 2,000 texts a day. But that's because their perspective is so far off. And I'm like, okay, you've been on your job for 10 years and you ain't got free. So you over here for 10 days and then you talking about it ain't working? Or even 90 days.
Perspective. You're right.
You've been on your job 99 years and you ain't got freedom. You over here 90 days. Like, I knew that program wasn't going to work. It ain't over. It ain't over till you say it's over.
So tell me this, with what you have, and for some of the people that don't know, that you are a peak performance coach as well. I was in your office the other day and you actually helped me peak my performance in some areas. What is it that you do to help your students become successful or be successful? Knowing that mindset is a challenge for them. What is it that you do that helps them become successful?
I give them books to read, but also I hold them accountable. That's the key. Most of us need somebody to hold us accountable. Let's look at LeBron. They said LeBron spent $1 million a year for coaches and nutritionists to help him keep his body in order. A couple years ago, I think it was P. Diddy that hired a guy at $1 million to train him because he wanted to run the New York Marathon. So he told him when to eat, what not to eat. We as human, there's two sides of us. I like to say our higher self, which is the God, and the dog, which is our lower nature. This lower nature want this coffee with this sugar in it. My higher nature say, drink this water so you can stay purified and keep your mind clear, because sugar going to take you up, it's going to dump you down. But this physical body, and just by nature of this mind, is always in protective mode. So we don't want to do nothing that's painful. Outside of our comfort zone. I'm comfortable on the job. I may complain about it, but I'm comfortable. I know I got a check coming. You telling me to come over here and do something, let go of this check where I got security at, and move over here where there's no security, but I get a big check, and then I'll be my own security. What about insurance? If I'm making enough money, I can my own insurance. But I ain't never knew that. My people always try to get into the job because I got insurance. With all these different things, and I got to break it down to them, and it takes time to get people to make that shift. Because just like when they say we got to update, what we got to do when our phone when they update? plug it up,
yeah,
and leave it alone.
leave it on, yeah.
Because that takes time for the update.
Wow. But
And it gotta be hooked up to what? The internet to be able to get the download. So you gotta be tied to somebody that really get a download. This one thing whether my students leave or not, they're like, God damn, that personal development was good. I miss being around him, even though he was hard on me. But that's what Phil Jackson would help make Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had a talent before Phil Jackson. Why he couldn't do it without him? Because Phil Jackson designed the play custom to fit Michael Jordan's game.
Real stuff, man. And you know, it's those types of things that a lot of people miss. You know, when we're talking about mindset, you know, the Michael Jordan, you made a point after you got finished when you won the tennis game, you went and practice after. Michael Jordan did the same thing. Mike Tyson was in the gym after he won the fight. You know,
Denzel Washington playing that he had never played a role like he did in Training Day. But this is the thing, we were talking about this in my office, and I came home that night, and guess what was on? Ray Charles. I see Jamie Foxx, and I think that's Ray Charles more than Ray Charles.
Absolutely.
But how did he portray that character? He had to study him, his mannerism, how he laughed, how he went to the side.
Yes.
All of that is study, time. I think we were talking about the actor who plays Hannibal. He talks about he has to go to counseling because he goes so deep into those crazy roles that the mind, he had to shift back. And that's the thing what I help people to understand, that the character who Mr. Tycoon is, Wahid Malik Shakur, he's a character. I designed this. Wow. And sometimes we want to be another character, a real estate investor. We got to figure out what's the script of a real estate investor. 65% rule, Mayo, hard money loan, desperate, somebody who's motivated seller. We learn all these terms. That's our script.
Right.
And we had to learn that script because that's a different role than when I worked at Publix or the United States Postal Service. Because there's a uniform for that character of the United States Postal Service. There's a uniform for a police officer. One of the things that throw people off is that we got different uniforms for real estate investors. We got uniforms, investors who wear t-shirts and we buy houses. We got investors who wear suits. We got investors who wear this. But the characteristics of our conversation is all the same. We all use the same script. I'm glad this is taped because I never used that metaphor before. That's why I said I know the anointing is heavy, so somebody's on this call.
Hey, listen, it is recorded, and I'm gonna challenge you to use it before I do.
And I want to say that as we close, I know we come up with this is universal principles. This is what it's for, each one to teach one. That's why I share this is why I'm passionate about what I do. That's why I love this.
Right.
It worked for me. So all my reading, all my writing, all my morning meditation and hearing from the Most High to give me insight to just see this and see how to metaphor so I can share with other individuals so they can get the picture in their mind and say, oh, okay, I see that. I see what he's saying now.
Yes.
Oh, I hear him. Not I hear the audible, but I hear it in my it's taking resonance with me like, ooh, that's good. That's when you know you got a word. I ain't talking about church. We're talking about a word that you can work.
Definitely.
When I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me.
Right. Man, bruh.
And the thing is this.
With that.
As I close, because I've been around my pastors. As I close here.
For the third time. That's all right.
The thing is, it's just great to be in the company of somebody else who's excited about what you're excited about. And we're excited about helping people. Don't get us wrong. We like the money.
Yes.
The money is necessary. Money is right up there with oxygen. And don't nobody never say, oxygen ain't all that important. What money is. Because money can be choices. That freedom passes.
Hey, listen.
I live right across the street from Houston. It gives me the ability to go over there and go eat in Houston if I want to. It gives me the ability to go down to Gucci and buy some Gucci if I want to. It gives me the ability to go get on a plane if I want to.
Right.
That's what they give you the freedom to do. And so you got to have a skill set because people pay you based on the problems you can solve for them.
This is true. This is true.
I just saw, MB, 4 years, 176 million. Now, why are they willing to pay him that? Because he performs. Because if he performs, that means they're going to be on TV. If he's on TV, that means they're going to be commercial. This is why teachers don't get paid, because nobody watched them perform.
Wow.
This is why sports get paid. It ain't because they better people. It's because of the magnitude of what they do, how many eyes will watch them. So they can sell them what? Water, Bentleys, at Wimbledon, what? The Rolexes, the Mont Blanc, certain environments. Apple, why Apple sells so many phones? Because of their marketing.
True story.
Because they have made it where what? First of all, don't tell me you can't afford $1,000, $10,000 to be coached on how to make six figures or $20,000 when you got a $1,000 phone or a $1,500 phone. And every time they upgrade it, as I close, I'm gonna stand up on this one because I'm ready for it. I'm gonna stand up on this one. You want to upgrade your phone, but you ain't willing to upgrade you.
Oh.
You ain't been in nobody's school since you left high school or college.
Oh.
But you'll upgrade this shit every time, and you don't use nothing but the camera.
Every time, right. And that's the only thing that gets upgraded most of the time.
The thing is, you ain't using it to make money, so I'm gonna show you for $10,000 how to make six figures. You like, man. But you gave fam you $50,000.
And don't use the degree.
You ain't even got the degree. You ain't even using it. You got it. You may have it, but they even said that less than 80% of our society is working in the area of what they degreed in.
Right.
So first of all, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking higher learning education. But the fact of it is this. They teach you how to regurgitate information. They don't teach you how to think. See, that's what we have to do when we look at a deal. What do we have to do? We have to determine. We have to think. Is this area going through a transition? Then we look at proof in the area. The other house that's selling in this area, is a trend coming down this way? We really don't get caught with trends, but as wholesalers we can because we ain't betting on it. But we'll sell you on that trend that's coming down Bank when they change the name. We had to pay attention in my combo here in Buckhead. The wall's gray. Why? Because that's what's in now.
Right.
What happened to our wall over here in the kitchen? We took it out. Why? Because you got to have an open floor plan now.
Definitely.
So we have to pay attention.
Yeah.
We got to be thinkers, not followers, not sheeple. We shepherds.
So, man, listen.
I'll come back.
I gotta ask this question. Listen, because you in what they call you in the spirit now, bro. Let me ask you this question, man. How long you been doing this? How long you been doing this business? How long you been doing real estate?
I've been doing real estate 25 years, but 22 the right way.
Right. Okay. I you know what? I'll say I've been doing it for 23 years, but I'll probably say 16 the right way. But you make some excellent points though. We have to think. So this is the thing that what you just said. This is the thing that challenges me. When we hear people say you can get into this business if you just show up and you can breathe, right? And then what they
that's a lot.
It's real. That's a true story. But the thing is, when they show up and they realize, okay, I don't gotta have no money, I don't have to have no credit, right? You can do a deal that way, but what's misrepresented, and you cover some real key stuff, is the thinking part. The what you got to think of, the trends, the what's in and what's out. And, I remember for the longest time, I would hear these words, modern, contemporary. I'm like, what the heck does that mean? But I didn't realize how important that was. When you're doing rehabs, you got to know what's in, what kind of countertops to put in, the thick ones or the thin ones. You got to know these kind of things. And a lot of these times I see these wholesalers. They come on the scene and they're taught you don't need to know rehab costs, You don't need to know the numbers of this. You don't need these things aren't important. You just need to put a deal out there and hope for the best to see what sticks.
Well, again, but as in everything, there are individuals who are good at things. I would say there's good cops and bad cops. There's good investors, there's bad investors. There's unknowledgeable investors. And again, we say you don't have to know. You don't have to be a full-fledged contractor. But part of the whole formula of the 65% rule is ARV times 65% minus repairs, minus your profits equal your MOP. I came up with MOP, maximum offer price. That's how we bought the deal. So it's a formula that all of us use, because anybody who's going to get hard money, that's what the hard money investor's going to use. So if you say they for 10,000, but it's really 30,000, the formula is off from the very beginning. And if you put this to highest comp, because it was 300,000, but really the comp is 250 for this particular house, your number's off. It's math.
But you have people that say those things aren't important because they don't
make it true. Only because somebody says something don't make it true, and that's my point.
Exactly.
I mean, they say words are like assholes. Everybody got some. Opinions. So it's a lot of people out here talking nonsense.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
But that's the thing. Yeah, they don't have to have the knowledge. Like they're being taught that the knowledge and information is not important because they're not personally the ones that are going to be on the hook for whether or not this deal sells in the end.
They can't even buy the deal, and that's what so many people fix and flip guys and young ladies or men and women are complaining about these wholesale. These are not real deals. But
right.
Again, you ain't got to get caught up in that. We know that. So come to us.
Right. Right.
And eventually, this is what's going to happen. It's going to weed its way out. Because one thing about life is this. The more higher you go, if you have flaws, it's going to get exposed.
Right.
See, if you lacking, you can take your son or my son, and we can give them a position based on inheritance, but they got to perform now, and they're going to get exposed, and they don't know what they're doing.
Wow.
See, you got to perform. So this is last one. Proper practice produces profitable performance. Not just practice, but proper practice.
Right.
Everybody will say practice makes perfect. No, practice makes permanent. So if you're practicing a thing the wrong way, you're going to permanently learn it the wrong way. It makes it permanent. That's why you got golfers, guys who play golf, but they're hitting the ball the wrong way for 20 years. So practice has made that golf swing permanent.
Wow.
But if I get proper instructions on how to hit a forehand, on how to determine a deal, but it starts with the foundation. If I get improper training on the foundation of even the numbers, the rest of it is obsolete.
Real stuff.
You want to fill out a contract, but you don't know how to do the numbers right. So now you're offering the person more than what you should have. So you got a contract, but you don't have a profitable contract.
Right.
Your foundation is wrong.
Wow.
You learned about double closing and assignment fee, and you got somebody who's gonna give you some bridge money, but you ain't gonna never get to the close table because your foundation is off.
Man.
This is why I'm so serious about the foundation in marketing. Because and the last one is most people have real estate mirage when they get one lead, and I gotta make this into a deal. Ron LeGrand taught me years ago, if it ain't shit, he said, you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. If the person want 100 and it's worth 100, ain't nothing you gonna do with that.
Right.
Well, you know, hey, if go on bank here, you know they changed the name to Donnelly Hall, and they just doing that new stuff. It's gonna be worth 300,000, and you know because it's coming that way. Now you trying to sell me on a dream.
Wow.
You don't support what you're saying right here.
So you mean I can't sell you a deal based on my speculation of my lack of information, my speculating that it's potentially going to be worth 300. I can't get you to buy it today because it's going to be potentially worth 300.
But you won't stay yourself in the business, and they won't come back and buy no deal from you. If they don't come back and try to shoot you. Again, that's what we call due diligence in this business, because you gotta know how to do your due diligence. And the only way you know how to do due diligence is through what? Having knowledge. And most people don't even know what they don't know.
Absolutely.
Because an agent, this is not no shot at agent, but agent's job is to sell your house. You want to be an investor, they'll sell your house. You investor now. You got a house. You investor. Don't be a knowledgeable investor, but you own a house now, and you technically ain't an investor. Because investors are supposed to make money. So if you ain't made money, you bought 10 houses and you lost on all of them, you're not an investor. You're a fuck up.
Hey, bro, listen. So, listen, you say the things that the rest of us want to say.
I know.
Hey, listen. So that's why, you know, when my class starts, you have to come and be a guest in my class to tell my people. And look.
I let them know that I was 11 when I was homeless. This is one of my coaches calling me right now, my personal coach that's calling from LA, one of the guys who coached me. And so I'm not just talking from theory, I practice this.
Right.
I'm in the gym most of the morning. If you follow me on IG, and I just stop in, just like, I'm here again. It ain't like I take them and like, okay, I'm gonna post this. This is what I do. It's a lifestyle for me. But I do have to get out of here. If you want to follow me, I'm on IG at I am Mr. Tycoon, or you can follow me at Mr. Tycoon at MrTycoon.com. I mean, that's my email. Or you can text me at 404-585-1164. Only if you're serious about getting a mentor that's going to hold you accountable and you got tough skin and you're coachable. And as I'll say this, he said, well, Mr. Tycoon, what is, how much? I say, it's more than a cheap car, but less than a house.
Hey, listen, what was your website again? Do we share the website with
MrTycoon.com. MrTycoon.com. That's MrTycoon.com. And I am Mr. Tycoon on IG. And you can follow me on Facebook also. And for those who are very serious, as I said, you can text me at 404-585-1164. My executive assistant, Solomon, may get in contact with you.
Great stuff.
Me, because everybody don't get a chance to work with me.
And that's the thing that people need to know. Let's see.
Hey, you see Sean Rolek over there? I just saw him. He said you would need tough skin for real, but he gets you to the closing table fat. Thank you so much, Sean. And I see John Stafford out there. Thank you, Jermaine Green, Lachey, Beatrice. Hello to all of you all. Hope y'all stuck around.
Definitely. Great stuff. Hey, listen, I definitely appreciate you stopping by, man, to share your wisdom with us, to share your knowledge, brother. And it's folks like you, it's coaches like you that help me stay in the game. Because oftentimes I think, should I do this? Should I continue to do this? I want to do something else. But it's the mindset. Like you said, you touched on the mindset, and I'm big on mindset. And if you continue to do the work and you continue to implement the things that you learn, you'll continue to have the success. So thank you for doing what you do, man.
Thank you.
I will keep you. And I know we got some work to do, so we'll definitely get to that. But listen, any parting words you want to share with the folks before we go?
Well, as I usually end all my videos, it's one simple thing in order to get your money right, because that's what we all want. We want some money, and not for the money of money. We want it for the freedom that it can give us. You got to get your mind right. And when I say getting the mind right, with the information that you want, that's going to be that you can apply in your life to get you the results. Because if you cannot get a harvest without planting a seed.
True story. And folks, y'all know. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were saying
it's a universal principle. You cannot. Nothing will grow unless you plant a seed first, and that's what we're planting is the seed of this information, and it grows in your life, and that's where the fruit comes from the tree that you are, in the finance, because you make the money.
Right. Man, bruh, again.
We ain't gonna go there. We out.
We out. Listen, this has been the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show, where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we bring you real life real estate solutions. Thank y'all for tuning in. I look forward to seeing y'all next week.